beautiful souls, and welcome to my space here. I'm Ashley. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, whenever you are. This is the extended reading for my weekly Tarot Tuesday energy update and weekly guidance. So if you're here because of the blog, thank you for reading. If you just found this video randomly, just know that these messages are still meant for you despite the timing. If you come across this at a time, not the week of August 3rd through the 10th, then just take what resonates for you and leave the rest. I would also like to remind you to trust your highest intuition above all else, to trust your own heart, your own little nudges, and to come here with an open heart and open mind. I do like to just state at the beginning of my videos that these messages are non-binary. So, the sex does not apply. Sometimes I use he or she, but it's mostly for our masculine and feminine energies, but we all have that within us. So, it's a windy one here today, and it's a beautiful day. So, I am sending you so much love, so much healing energy. Let's start by taking a big deep breath in, and then I'll get to the guidance and to we're not seeing clearly in the advice. So let's start by breathing in the nose, holding at the top, and releasing out the mouth. Alright, and let's get started, because what I pulled for the week I'm super excited about because it was so in alignment with just kind of like the stars, because that's perfect, because what I pulled for this week is the star, which is represented by Aquarius, and we just had a full moon in Aquarius yesterday, if you're watching this like present day. And so this is represented by, like I said, I think I just said Aquarius, so the energy of Aquarius is kind of quirky and different. It's kind of out there, and to me it's always about like this card is kind of like speaks of destiny and kind of following your soul's path, following your truth. And what I pulled to clarify that was new love, and it says embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. So I love this that it came, because look at, she's like reaching out for a shooting star, like how fitting with the star, so for me this felt like there is new opportunities in love and even in work and expansion and like spiritual evolution that are here right now in this like very present moment. That's kind of the star to me, is like just being really present with where you are. That's like our soul's path. My interpretation of the soul's path is pretty much to find peace and love, abundance and joy in every moment that you can, to never be in this energy of lack and scarcity. And that's because our mind is a mechanism created to survive. It's how we like divide and conquer. And when we are seeing through the mind, we're not seeing each other from our souls. We're seeing each other from these limited perceptions. And right away I was picking up on people wanting new love, but they're stuck in these abusive relationships that are really unhealthy, that are toxic. And hey, I've been there. I've never been in a relationship, but that was the relationship that was taught to me, like through my own self-love. And that's kind of what I was picking up on. This isn't just like new romantic love. It's like new love in friendships, new love in self, like loving yourself in this new light. And when you can love yourself in this new way, and you can love yourself unconditionally, because kind of what I was getting at is like I wasn't taught how to unconditionally love myself. I did not receive unconditional love. I only received love, like for instance, like if I was behaving well, or if I was doing what my parents wanted, and I learned how to gain approval from other people. And this really kept me stuck in this energy of lack and like not thinking I'm good enough, or thinking there's something wrong with me. So I was picking up on this energy of people being guided by their soul to leave unfulfilling jobs, to leave toxic relationships and old patterns behind, so that they can open up to their destiny, so that they can actually receive the love and the abundance that was, intended for them. And a lot of us are living from this place of the mind, and we're taught to be this certain way, and it keeps us limited, and it keeps our soul's expansion from expressing itself. And so we're not in alignment. And so, oh my gosh, the car just went flying, so I'm gonna go grab that really quick. It's super windy. Okay. And so it keeps us stuck in patterns that just aren't healthy for us, and it limits our expression in so many ways, and we can feel very like trapped. And I was kind of feeling this energy of entrapment. Like you might be in relationships with like narcissists or people that abuse you mentally, emotionally, physically, verbally that just put you down, that make you feel like shit about yourself. And what we have to see is the reason we attract this kind of love is to show us how to expand in our soul's truth and how to become the own provider of our love and connection. And recognizing that love and connection don't just come from people or like having a home, you know. It doesn't come, like, support doesn't come from that. Like, stability doesn't just come from that. And we're really shifting our mindset to see like that stability comes like when we stop making like the physical world and like money our source, like our end all be all, and we only live to attain more and more and more like money or more status or more like higher titles, then we're really like selling our soul. But when you make a decision to like exit a toxic relationship or to leave an unfulfilling job, and you're doing it because it's for your highest good, then you have to believe that you will be supported by the divine, because when we're living in our highest good, you know, we're always going to be supported. But if we stay stuck in like unfulfilling jobs, or we stay stuck in abusive, toxic relationships, then we can never receive our destiny. We can never receive the love of God. So I was also picking up on this energy. If some of you are single and you're coming to this channel, hello, I've been single my entire life. And that's so weird because I'm here to teach about relationships, yet I've never been in an actual like relationship. I've had like lots of friendships, I've had like relationships that weren't really defined, and you know, to me it has nothing to do with being in a relationship with any other person. It has everything to do with being in a relationship with yourself. How do you provide love and connection for yourself? How do you show up for yourself? How do you provide your own happiness? Like, how do you, like, a lot of us are trying to give our loves, especially to these toxic relationships. We're giving and we're giving and we're giving, and we think, oh, if I can give enough to this toxic relationship, then this person will love me. And I was learned this through my parents. So I gave everything and I gave everything, and I didn't receive anything in return. And so this can make you feel like stuck in this energy of unworthiness, like I don't deserve love unless I'm constantly overgiving, unless I'm sacrificing myself, unless I'm neglecting myself. You know, and that's unhealthy. That is not love. That is toxicity, you know, and a lot of us were taught this by our parents. We weren't taught, and you know, you think as a parent you love your child unconditionally, but watch yourself, watch your behavior. Do you disconnect from your child when they're having a tantrum and you just can't deal with it? You know, like, that's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is sitting with them through it, being that safe place for them, talking them through it, like holding them through it, like connecting with them. And a lot of us didn't receive this connection in childhood, and so then we struggle to receive this connection as an adult, and we believe that toxicity, abuse, pain, neglect, like all that we believe is actually love. And it's a complete distortion of what love actually is. And so we will settle in relationships because we believe that's the love we would deserve, because it's the love we were taught by our caregivers. So self-love and creating this new love for yourself begins to completely shift your relationship dynamics. And because you're providing your own love and you're not seeking it and you're not trying to get the validation of somebody else to love you, to make you feel loved, and you're providing that love for yourself on your own, then you begin to attract relationships where you can equally receive love, and like you don't have to sacrifice yourself, and you don't have to sacrifice your beliefs, and you don't have to sacrifice your truth and your self-expression in order to be loved. So sometimes we can be taught in our families, like, oh, if you express this part of yourself, let's say for example, like people that like even come out of like that are like coming out of the closet, you know, and they might keep themselves trapped in this full expression of themselves because maybe they're scared they'll lose the love of their parents, and so they deny their own reality and their own truth in order to gain the approval and love of their parents. And this creates a deep sense of loss and lack, and it keeps us stuck in these imposter syndromes, like we can't be who we truly are because we feel that we will be abandoned if we express, you know, our truest self. And that's kind of the start. Like I said, you might have felt like different or weird, like the black sheep of your family, which I know has been coming up. Or even just like, you just felt like maybe you didn't fit in, or you just felt like you were different. Like, you were meant to be different. That's what's so valuable about you, and I want you to believe that, because sometimes that's so hard for me to believe that. And we tend to base like our self-worth on like things we attain on the outside, like how much money we have, or our relationship status. And we have this idea, I wrote this in the blog, so if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave it below, and you might want to check that out to see if there's more messages there for you. But our society has like treated being single like it's like this terrible, awful thing, and like you're super lonely if you're single. But I'm sorry, you can be single and you can be thriving, you know? And we've had this like mentality for a really long time to rely on like men to provide for us, and this stemmed all the way back from survival needs, when we really truly did need them in order to survive and to provide for us. But I'm sorry, in this day and age we don't need that anymore. We have such an abundant, prospering, and I know not everyone has access to it, but and abundance, just remember, isn't just about financial gain. It's about like feeling happy and fulfilled, doing the things that light your soul up. Maybe you like to write, or maybe you like to sing, or maybe you like to paint, or whatever your passions are, like doing more of those and fulfilling yourself, making yourself, like giving yourself the love, like and like filling that singleness, that emptiness with, you know, the things that make you happy, that make you feel good, that make you feel like you're expressing your true self. And then you don't feel like you need like a partner to complete you, or you don't need a certain like job to make you feel good about yourself. Like you just feel happy because you're living in integrity, you're living in alignment with your highest self. And this really, you know, shifts your expansion. You begin to see life from a totally different perspective, and it allows more love to enter you. It allows you to see, like, because I was picking up on the energy of like being in abusive relationships, and you know, like staying out of fear of being alone. You know, like a lot of people would rather stay in unhealthy and toxic relationships than be out on their own, because when they're on their own they have to sit with their own shit, and they can't blame other people, especially their partner, for how they're feeling. And we have to take accountability for our emotions. We have to be the conscious creator of our emotions. And as soon as we allow other people to like determine our happiness, or determine our joy, or determine our stability and our self-worth, like if we are relying on other people to make us feel a certain way, we're giving our power away. Our power is our gift to be able to create our own reality with our emotional spectrum, and with our ability to, you know, observe our thoughts and, you know, to be a creator of our thoughts. We get to generate our thoughts. They're not just happening for us. Like we're kind of like antennas, and we emanate a frequency, and whatever frequency we're tapped into, if we're tapped into anxiety, we're tapped into a lower base frequency. So we emanate a frequency, and that's what the universe is going to send back to us. We're gonna, because the thoughts are kind of just floating by in an invisible field, okay? And we're, like I said, we're the antenna. So we turn in our station to a certain dial, which could be anything. Like if you wanted to feel joy, so then as you begin to, you know, shift your own frequency and think thoughts of joy, then you begin to feel higher vibrational emotions of joy, then you're tapping into a different frequency, and then you're going to start attracting different thoughts. So if you were trapped in anxiety, you might attract lower base thoughts. And then if you're tapped into joy, you're going to attract like higher base thoughts. So we get to choose our spectrum. And of course we're going to have emotions come and go, but can we allow them to pass by and not cling to them? Hello! This new kitty came and visited me last Monday, actually. So hello, I just call her Kitty for now. I haven't really made a decision on if I'm keeping her, but she really likes me. So anyway, that might be a message for you. Maybe you work with cats, or maybe you're working with like cats and spirits, or maybe you are like, because I was saying like anxiety, maybe like a pet therapy, or like getting a pet to help you stay grounded, or just using your pets that you already have as a way to connect and make you feel like connected to the earth. They're really good for grounding, so they can really help you you know, stay connected to the present moment. And I think that's the path of the soul, is just to become present and accepting to all that is. So when we're in this state of resistance, and we're in this state of control, you know, we want our partners to like act in a certain way and behave in a certain way in order to make us feel like we're loved or like we're valued. But really it's our responsibility, and it's our job, and it's not somebody else's job to do it for us. So this is also number 26 or number 8, which just caught my eye, which is the infinity symbol. So either of those numbers might be signs for you, because I was picking up on that a lot of you are receiving signs. This might be signs from like you know, like signs from spirit, but like you might receive them through music, or through some sort of like divination practices, even like tarot, or even just like through numbers. And yeah, you're just receiving a lot of signs that are leading you to this new love, or to these new opportunities. So I kept getting this, and the first thing I got was love is in the air. So truly allow yourself to feel the love and pick up around the love that is surrounding you in every moment, because you are love. Love is not outside of you. Love is not something you have to earn or, gain validation or approval from, like we were taught maybe from our parents, but love is who we are. So every time you feel like you're lacking in love, how can you give yourself more love? And instead of over giving to people that can't meet you where you are, you have to remember that people can only love you as much as they love themselves. So if they really struggle to love themselves, they're going to struggle to give you that love. And you have to realize that just because they can't give you that love doesn't mean you're unlovable. Like if your parents, for example, like my parents, they couldn't give me love because they couldn't give themselves love. And so then when you can see it from that perspective, you can have compassion and understanding and forgiveness for them and be like, wow, nobody taught them how to love themselves either, and so they couldn't teach me. And then you set them free, and then you set yourself free, and you're no longer needing to blame other people for your emotions, especially your partner. Okay, Kitty. So let's go on to the next what's going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing clearly right now. Alright, so what is going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing clearly? Okay, I love it. Queen of Swords, so more air signs. This is represented by Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So the Queen of Swords, this is about boundaries, and I was picking up on that really closely too when I was writing my blog, is to hold firm boundaries. Don't allow people to dictate how you feel about yourself. If somebody makes you feel bad about yourself, or somebody is bringing drama or toxicity or abuse into your life, you have to set boundaries. You can't let people walk all over you, but that's how I was taught. I was literally taught to let people walk all over me, to treat me like garbage, because that's how I was taught to treat myself by my caregivers. So when we can learn how to to me, the Queen of Swords is the Queen of Peace. She's the peacemaker. So she's very neutral. She doesn't get too caught up in her emotions. She sees things from a higher perspective. She communicates from a place of authenticity and from truth. She communicates very clearly and confidently, and she's convicted in her knowing, in her intelligence, because this also represents the mind. So really connecting to source and connecting to this place of pure thought. And the Queen of Swords has very powerful intention, especially if you're an air sign. So you might be a powerful witch if you want to look at it that way. And when you use your intention for pureness and for goodness and to imagine the best outcome possible for everyone involved, when you're pure with your intention, you're powerful. But if you use your intention to be vindictive or manipulative, and that's what I was kind of picking up on, there's somebody that's dealing with somebody that's that would be the Queen of Swords in reverse, where it's just emotionally manipulative or spiteful communication, putting you down. And this could be something that maybe your mother was, and so maybe you end up attracting people that are like this, because the Queen of Swords, if she's not in a healthy energy, she can be very cold and just not good. She's icy and cut off and closed off, and she just, it's not a good energy. It can make you feel really bad about yourself, and just like I said, very harsh. So I was picking up on, a lot of people might be dealing with somebody that's like this, but that can come off very conniving is kind of the word that I pick up on, just not very good energy. So what we're really learning how to do is place boundaries so that those people don't suck our energy dry. And a lot of people that are sensitive and highly empathetic will attract people like that as a way to teach them how to place boundaries, how to, connect with their own inner world, and how to create peace. Because a lot of people that are narcissistic or manipulative, they are dealing with a lot of internal chaos, and so they project that chaos onto other people's lives as a way to relieve their ego of their own inner world. And so they like to create a lot of drama or chaos in people's lives, or as a way to distract them from their own. Because if you are dealing with anyone like this, they have thoughts that are super negative. I'm just picking up on this energy of super negative, pessimistic, just downright. And it's communication too. So how you speak about your life, if you're always saying you're broke, if you're always saying you're lonely, if you're always saying all these negative things about yourself and about your life, then you're communicating them. See, I'm even having trouble communicating. So it's this energy of learning how to communicate from this healthy, detached place of peace and neutrality. That's what we're seeing. That's what's going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing clearly. So there's an opportunity to shift your perspective too, because that's the Queen of Swords, is seeing from a different perspective, seeing from a perspective, like I said, of neutrality and peace. Okay, so let's clarify that though. What are we not seeing clearly with the Queen of Swords? Because there's a lot of messages coming through. But it came up, like, I don't really read the cards reversed, but that was the energy I was picking up in my blog, so that makes sense that the Queen of Swords did show up. Because, like it is, when it's in a distorted energy, it can be not very nice. And I was picking up on, this might come up for you, if you're dealing with anyone like this, like mental health disorders, like I was picking up on bipolar disorder, like borderline personality disorders, like where it's the narcissist, because there's different levels of narcissism, where it's like you can be different ends on the spectrum, and it can also lead to a personality disorder if it's so bad, if it's gone untreated. And a lot of people actually that are narcissists, they will go untreated because they're really hard to detect, because they can, play a role in order to get what they need. Like, they can basically, like, trick physicians. They're tricksters. It's a trickster energy. And so, like, manipulative and just, like, plays mind games. And, like, you might be dealing with somebody that, like, this is another thing I was picking up on. Talk shit behind your back, And what we have to realize, and, like, they try to drag your name through the dirt, or try to make you look bad, or make you look like a fool, or try to, like, humiliate you. This is something, like, a narcissist really loves to do. It just makes them, like, they almost get off on it, like, making people feel bad about themselves, because they feel really bad about themselves, and the only way to relieve themselves of that own unworthiness is to make somebody feel worse than they do, or equally as bad as they do. And so, if you don't really, like, protect your energy and really place boundaries and, like, cut these kind of people out of your life, and notice your own narcissistic tendencies to deny your emotions, like, and you actually start to feel your emotions, and you allow yourself to be more empathetic and compassionate and forgiving towards yourself for all the times maybe you've communicated to yourself harshly, or, like, communicated to other people harshly, or forgive ourselves for when we're, like, dealing with self-hatred, or, like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And, like, dealing with those things. Okay, I lost my train of thought, so I'm gonna keep going. If we don't deal with those things, then then we create our own narcissistic tendencies, because we just don't want to be in our emotions, because they're, like, too much. So when you start to look at that within yourself, then you stop attracting it in partners. Or you don't just attract narcissistic people in partnerships, you can also attract narcissistic bosses, and, like, just narcissistic, like, family members or acquaintances. Like, there's just all different kinds of people all around, and you can see that right now, because narcissism is a huge thing. Like, it's kind of like what our whole society is based off of. And so, and, like, there's this really misconception about, like, self-love and, like, being self-absorbed. And there's a completely different line. You have to, like, really draw a line in the sand of, like, when am I, like, loving myself, or when am I, like, harming myself and using it as this way to make my ego feel like I'm loving myself. Like, you have to really get clear on your intentions, and that's the Queen of Swords. What are your intentions? Are they pure, or are they, and people that are dragging your name through the dirt or putting you down, like, you have to realize that's their karma, and that will come back on them. Like, the only person they're truly hurting is themselves in the long run. They might, like, it's like this energy of, like, reputation. Like, I don't want my reputation to be ruined. It's just like, get over it. That's, like, total ego. Like, if people are only going to judge you based off their own judgments. Like, people won't ever truly see the real, people won't always see you. They'll just see the judgment of you. So, when you cannot care what other people think about you, then you're free of people talking shit behind your back, and it has nothing to do with you. And that says more about them than it does about you, right? Okay, so what are we not seeing with the Queen of Swords? Like, I'm kind of getting this energy of, like, you're seeing the truth, like, you can trust the truth. All right, here, yeah, we have practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. Or 15 or number 6, so those could be numbers for you that are important. But I love this, because I was saying we can end up seeing from a different perspective. That's the Queen of Swords, is shifting our perspective from an energy of, like, from, like, an energy of, like, lack, or from an energy of, like I was saying, like, this spiteful energy, like, or, like, envy, and really seeing from a perspective of unity, and seeing from a perspective of, like, everything you see or judge within somebody else is really just a reflection of you. So can you practice having compassion for people? And the only way we can actually have more compassion for people, in my opinion, is by being more compassionate towards ourselves. So also notice the feathers on here, and I think there's a bird, yeah, and there's, like, a little chipmunk. There's a butterfly. So oh, and I see some deer. So those might be spirit animals, or there's just an energy to just connect with nature, and this allows you to have more compassion for yourself. And more compassion for other people, because in my opinion, the only way that we can have more love in our lives is by being more loving. And when we struggle to be loving towards ourselves and we're not compassionate towards ourselves, and it's going to be harder to be more like compassionate and loving towards other people. Like, don't get too caught up in like chaos or drama. Like the Queen of Swords, she's really detached, like I said. So see things from a different perspective. Like, and I was saying, like, have compassion for people that are hurting, or have compassion for those people that are abusing you or that are putting you down. Like, when you can see them with compassion, one, don't just stick around like and put up with the behavior. I'm not condoning that at all. Walk away if you need to. If you feel unhealthy or you feel unsafe, or if your nervous system, like, always listen to your body's intelligence. If you feel like you're walking around on eggshells, or you can't be your true self, or you can't express your emotions, and you just feel like you have to kind of like hide different parts of yourself while you're in relationship, you have to realize that that's not the relationship for you. So like, a lot of people would rather, like I said before, they'd rather stay in those unhealthy relationships than be in that void of nothingness, where they have to sit with their own discomfort of their own unhappiness. Like, you have, like, when you aren't in a partnership, you have to realize, like, you have to come to realize that the only person that creates your happiness is you. And so you don't get to just like blame your unhappiness or your hurt feelings on somebody else. You actually have to take responsibility for them, own them. Okay, what is your advice for us, Spirit? Oh, interesting. We got the King of Swords, so this is like the mate to the Queen of Swords, which I really love. The King of Swords is okay, so the King of Swords kind of in this energy can be kind of cold and very like distant and withdrawn and just not it's like just very cold. Like, you can even see on his face, like, it's like super serious. I'm picking up on this energy of like seriousness or seriousness or over analyzing, and a lot of times over analyzing keeps us stuck from moving forward. Like, we want freedom, like, especially in our physical lives, but the only way we can create freedom in our physical world is by creating freedom in our mind. And so that's like the King of Swords. This is also like a leader. He's the King of neutrality, which I love with the Queen of Swords as well. That message came in really clear. This is about communication and using your voice. Like, healthy communication is kind of what I'm picking up on, and using your voice to like lead, or using your voice to uplift yourself, you know, like, use your voice to change your life. Like, use how you speak to change your life, and you can really create your reality by how you choose to speak about it. Like, if you're constantly complaining, or you're negative all the time, or you're constantly talking about your health problems or how sick you are, or like I said before, if you're talking about how broke you are, like, you're going to create more of that. So how can you be more intentional with your communication? Okay, very interesting. And the King of Swords is like speaking your truth. That's what I'm getting there. Like, I'm picking up on all the cards. There's a lot of blue. On every single one there's blue, and I'm picking up on the throat chakra and Archangel Gabriel, which I always have to call upon him, because I have fears of speaking my truth. When I first started to speak my truth, like, especially to my family members, and it's like always to your family members, in my opinion, that like you want their love and approval the most. And so, like, when I would first start to speak my truth, I would get like really like shaky, like my voice would shake, where I feel like I had to talk really slow, because I would feel my throat like tense up and tighten, and I couldn't breathe, and it caused a lot of fear, you know. But you have to continue to move through the fear in order to liberate yourself. Like, fear is always going to arise, but it's like, if you can move through that fear, and like, kind of like the Queen of Swords, she just kind of cuts through the bullshit, you know, like, she doesn't allow those negative attachments to kind of hold her back. She stands firm in her beliefs, she stands firm in her own knowing, and she trusts her own knowing. It's really like learning how to trust your own voice and trust yourself enough to move through the resistance and to move through the fear. Because a lot of us, we allow things that are happening outside of us, like our relationships, or even if you think about like COVID right now, we don't let those things stop you from living your life. You know, just because they are evoking fear, or if you have fears of being alone and you have fears of leaving a relationship, don't let them hold you back from living the life that was meant for you, you know, because more people are seeking freedom, like liberation and love. Like, we should not be bound in a relationship. If you feel trapped in a relationship, that is not the relationship for you. It's just not, like, you're completely out of alignment. And the King of Swords, he lives in his truth. He lives with integrity. He lives with authenticity. And he uses his voice as his power to create his own reality. He's very intelligent, so you might be like connecting with somebody that's super intelligent, or you just might be somebody who's super intelligent. And like, these are like aspects within ourselves. So even if you're a woman, you still have a King of Swords within you. It's a part of you that takes action on your thoughts and on your truth, like communicating your truth, like taking action and speaking things into existence. And like, when you begin to find your authentic voice, like, this could be like, you could be using your voice in any term, in any kind of way, like writing, for example, or singing, or leading, or teaching. There's just all different kinds of things like you could be using with your voice. And that's what I'm picking up on, is like, your voice is your power. But a lot of us are scared to use our voice or to be authentic to who we are, because like I said, we were maybe grew up in homes where we weren't allowed to express ourselves, and that's the King of Swords, in my opinion, is expression. And I was picking up on Archangel Gabriel, which is about self-expression and using our voice. And I know for myself, I have fears stemming from past lifetimes of like being persecuted for using my voice, or like just fears of being seen and fears of being heard. But I was picking up with the star, like, some of you desire to be in the spotlight. Some of you have always desired to be, a star, or I don't know, I was picking up on like rock star, or movie star, like being an actor, or I don't know, even like comedy I'm picking up on, or directing. I just saw a director in my head, so that's so weird, in my third eye. And like, really, fulfilling yourself and living authentic to your truth. And we have to remember that, like, we have desires to be a star, like, and we want fame and we want recognition. It has to come from this place of, like I was saying, from pure intention. It has to come from this place of like, I want to lead from my soul. I want to be seen for my soul. I want to use my voice, and I want to use, my gifts, my spiritual gifts, to inspire or uplift or to transform. But the stardom can't come from this egotistical place of like, I want to be in power, and I want to be seen, and I want all the money, and I want all the bitches, like, no, you have to see it from this place of like, I'm serving God. And when you're serving God, and you're wanting that desire to be seen, and you're wanting that desire to be heard, and you're wanting that desire to be recognized, then continue to follow that path and believe that it's meant for you, that you're on the right path. You can trust your path, and that's a message for you. So you might have had this tendency to like have really high expectations, and then when your expectations aren't met, you kind of get disappointed, and you start to like not believe in yourself, or that you're on the wrong path. And that's not true. You just have to be more open. You have to be more neutral, and that's kind of like the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So be more open-minded to how your path is going to look, or how it's going to unfold. Don't try to dictate or manipulate every little detail of your life. Allow there to be mystery, allow there to be like the unfolding and the excitement, and allow yourself to kind of evolve in that area of your life, where you can allow like things to be out of your control, but still feel like surrendered and supported by spirit, and not like something bad is going to happen, or like to believe in yourself, to believe in your soul's truth and your soul's path. Like, you can trust. That's what they keep saying. So what else is your advice here with the King of Swords, Spirit? There's a butterfly on this card too as well, and there's some birds, and there's also clouds, so those might be messages for you. And there's clouds on this one too. Love it. Okay, so what is your advice with the King of Swords? Okay, perfect. Look at your pattern in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. And this is number 32 or number 5. And I love all the mirrors and like the waterfalls, and there's like a baby in the mirror, and there's this woman playing a harp. And there's like this path you can see on her mind. You see on the top of her head, there's like this path, and there's like an elk walking, and there's like these little candles in the tree that are like kind of lighting her path. And I just like was picking up on that, like, you're on the right path. There's even a little sailboat that you can't see. It's kind of hard to see. You probably can't see, it's right there. But like using, because like the King of Swords is like when you communicate to someone, or like look at where you need to maybe like, I'm just picking up on this energy of communication. That's what we're healing in relationships right now. Is like, and this isn't just like intimate relationships or romantic relationships. It's also like relationships with yourself. Like, or sorry, communication in relationship to yourself, and communication like with friends or coworkers or your children even. So really learning how to see your reflection in your communication. If you attract people that talk down to you or that kind of like try to make you feel bad about yourself, where inside yourself are you cutting yourself down? And that's kind of like the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords if they came in reverse, like cutting your own self down, like being really hard or cold or cut off towards yourself, like not giving yourself love, not giving yourself compassion, like and you're just really hard on yourself. That's when you might attract somebody that's really hard on you, because they're reflecting your reality. And we kind of want like somebody else to kind of do the work for us, so that we don't have to put in the effort, and we don't have to like do any of the hard work of really truly loving ourselves and talking to ourselves nicer and treating ourselves with more kindness and more love and compassion, because that's the only way we're going to be able to see it reflected to us. And relationships are your mirrors, and that's relationships with everything in the universe, with everything that's in existence is just a mirror to you. So if you look at something and it makes you feel beautiful, that beauty that you're seeing is actually just a reflection of you. Like, so that's why I love to use nature. So, and there's nature on like all these cards, but these are called whispers of love. But yeah, there's like water and there's trees. So like when you view a sunset and or you view the beautiful cloud-filled sky, that is a reflection of your beauty. Like, and when you can really begin to use that to point out and pinpoint every single thing that makes you feel beautiful, that makes you feel, maybe you see something and it makes you feel like really strong, like giving more, like feeding those thoughts of like beauty and acceptance and peace. And then you begin to that begins to reflect in your external world, and you begin to attract people or relationships or environments that are more harmonious and more aligned with who you truly are and what you truly desire and what you truly deserve. So underneath the deck it says, embrace your emotions. Number 18 or number 9, there's a unicorn on the card, and it says, don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. Exactly, like be neutral, like the King and the Queen of Swords. Be neutral toward your emotions. They're not who you are. Just because you feel like really unworthy, or just because you feel sad, or just because you feel lonely doesn't mean that's true or who that is. You're just experiencing an emotion. Can you feel the emotion instead of pushing it down or numbing it out or distracting yourself from it with social media or with food or with, smoking or, whatever your thing was. I was also getting spending money as the thing that came up in the blog. So like a lot of us might spend money to make ourselves feel loved, because that's how our parents showed us love, was like providing for us in the physical world. And so we may attach our sense of love to how much money we have or how much money we make. And so this can really distort our self-worth, because as your finances fluctuate and as the economy fluctuates, that's going to fluctuate your self-worth and your self-esteem, and that's just not true. Like, you are worthy and valuable just as you are. You don't have to have a certain amount of money in your bank account. You don't have to have a certain credit score. You don't have to have all these limitations and these like labels in order to be worthy of anything, especially love, because you are love. Remember, like, you don't have to earn love, you don't have to earn money, you don't have to earn acceptance. You have to give it to yourself. And instead of seeking it in other people and other situations, in your job and your relationships, give it to yourself. And then you'll feel full of it. Okay, very interesting. What was under? Okay, I love that under the deck here was Temperance, represented by Sagittarius, but I love the water on the card, and there's this energy of balance, and maybe this came up recently too, but yeah, it's just like this energy of finding this emotional balance. And I was picking up on emotional maturity, and a lot of us that were raised in homes where there's like a lot of chaos or drama or fighting or like blow-ups, we weren't taught how to regulate our emotions. And so when we're adults, we will get triggered by other people, especially our partners, or even by people, random strangers in traffic, or the person at the drive-through window. When someone upsets us, we throw a tantrum, even though we're an adult. And this could look at like flipping the bird to someone, or yelling at someone, or like, like just blowing up, like creating a blow up. It's an adult tantrum. And so what we have to learn how to do is regulate ourselves. And one way that you can do that is by learning how to be more present with your emotions, and being in silence, being in the stillness, and also using breath work as a way to relax your nervous system and your mind, so that your body can relax, so that you can feel safe in your body and you can feel safe in your experience here on Earth. we just have a lot of fears of not being safe, especially women right now, because we haven't felt safe for a really long time. But safety doesn't come from the external world. We've been taught to rely on safety from men. We've been taught to rely on safety from our homes. We've been taught to rely on safety as money and as a home. Maybe I already said home. We've been taught to rely on these things for safety and security, but that doesn't come from safety and security. Safety and security comes within, and feeling stable and anchored in your own energy, in your own truth, in your own vibration. That's stability. And then it begins to reflect in your external world, and you can be stable, without stuff. So, temperance. Alright, I'm going to pull one last card from the Journey of Love, and then I'll end it for this week. A lot of messages coming through. Alright, Spirit, what is the overall message for us this week? I love it. It says gifts received, number 13. I love all the green on the card. Very beautiful. Number 13 or number 4, so another number that might be significant to you. Relax. It's okay to accept what is coming your way now. Gentle your soul, steady your heart. Even the most precious treasure can be received by you. Why not? Are you not built of the same stuff as the treasure, beloved? It's all love after all. That is all there is. Enjoy, accept, rest in the knowledge that you are being invited into a sanctuary of abundance, peaceful rest, and replenishment now. It's just time. This oracle holds a message for you. The universe is trying to get something to you. More abundance, more love, an answer to a prayer. Sometimes the healing comes in unexpected packages. Sometimes we try so hard to find the answer, exerting so much effort to receive, that we make things harder for ourselves than they need to be. So relax, have some fun, be at peace. Everything is working out just fine, and there's a nice surprise coming your way. Oh, what a beautiful and reassuring message. Thank you, Spirit. And this is the little poem that goes with it. I can't get over this. The wind blows softly through grass, and my open heart, love unexpected. Oh my gosh, how delicious and beautiful. That was so on point. And I actually am picking up on the energy of Archangel Raphael, and he has a beautiful, benevolent energy that is so healing and can bring you so much peace and so much love into your life. So I hope this was healing for you. I hope it was helpful for you. I do private readings, so if you would like to book one with me, you can find the information below. And I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll be back next time. Take care.